Dinesh Kumar. Sir is a professor and chair for Data Center and Analytics Lab, chair for MBA Business Analytics, chair Career Development Services, and IMB Chair of Excellence at Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore. With nearly 30 years of rich experience in teaching and research, Sir has contributed under various capacities as Professor for Operations Management at IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, and School of Engineering, University of Exeter, United Kingdom. He has been a visiting professor at IIM Calcutta, Stevens Institute of Technology, USA, visiting fellow at School of Engineering, Queensland University of Technology, Australia, and National Graduate School of Management, Australian National University, Australia. He's an expert in the area of business analytics, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning algorithms, stochastic models, reinforcement linear algorithms, reliability optimization, Six Sigma, and performance-based logistics. Sir has published numerous research papers in academic journals and published more than 30 case studies on business analytics and machine learning algorithms based on Indian and multinational organizations. He has provided analytics consulting services to organizations such as Boston Consulting Group, GE Healthcare, General Motors, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Indian Army, TVS Motors, Wipro, and so on. He has conducted numerous training programs on analytics for several organizations, including Accenture, Aditya Birla Group, Allianz, Benelux, Ashok Leyland, Bank of America, Cisco, Fidelity, Honeywell, and ITC Infotech. He has also received the Best Young Teacher Award by the Association of Indian Management Schools 2003. These are few of the publications of Sir: Business Analytics, the Science of Data-Driven Decision Making, Machine Learning Using Python, Business Analytics and Intelligence as Compendium, apart from the other publications. Now, without further delay, I would hand over the session to Dr. U. Dinesh Kumar, sir. Sir, please, I request you to begin your deliberation.
Thank you, Girish. Let me just share the PowerPoint. Give me a second.
Okay, sir.
Are you able to see my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon all. I hope you're all safe and sound. In the next 15 minutes, what I'm going to do is talk about analytics. And as Viresh was saying, we worked on many case studies and analyzed how analytics can be used in such problems and came up with solutions. So I'll talk about 3 of them. Since we have limited time, let me get into the topic. I'm assuming that many of you would have some basic understanding of analytics. I'm not getting into the definition of analytics and AI, machine learning, and so on. So I'll just talk about the work that we are doing. But before that, it is a good idea to understand what is analytics. When we say analytics, what is it, right? So let me just share you a chart. This is basically a bar chart. And this is from Facebook relationship breakups. So when people break up, they go out to their Facebook and announce to the world that I'm single, I'm happy, I'm in the market, and anybody else in the market, and so on, right? So in this chart, we find a pattern. So the breakups are large in number in December, all right? So that's basically what, there's also another one in spring, but let us focus on December, right? The question is, why do you think a lot of breakups happen in December? I guess you can actually access the chat. So you can send me your response. Why do you think a lot of breakups happen in December? I want few answers from the participants. So do you think it's a New Year resolution that, you know, people want to live with a new person for the New Year? Or is there some other reason why you find a lot of breakups that happen in New Year? Okay, nobody is responding in the chat. I hope chat is enabled for everybody, right?
Yes, sir, it is there.
Yeah.
Chat is enabled, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm still waiting for some answers.
I would request all the participants to put in their opinion regarding the sir's question.
I think they're all thinking still. So some
Yes,
days
sir,
we
it
are
seems
free
so.
during that time. So
Yes, sir.
okay, people are still thinking. But my guess is, if you look at the time from July onwards, the number of breakups are at the lowest level, right? And these are probably working couple, and they go to office, come back, they're tired, just eat and sleep. In December, there are a lot of holidays, and both of them are at home, so they start talking to each other. So that's when the problem starts. As long as you're not talking much to your partner, your relationship is fine. The moment you start talking, then you get into some problem, right? Okay, so there could be other reasons, right? I'm seeing people are writing, maybe people are looking for new beginnings, communication gap, all right, okay? Now let us assume that there are a lot of breakups happen in December. Why should any organization worry? So what is likely to happen because there are a lot of breakups? And do you think there'll be some influence of this on either the revenue or customer increase in the customers for any of the organizations? Can I take a guess how this pattern is going to affect business? So some says performance of employee, okay, so they are depressed. Any other thing? All right, so let us look at what are the possible things that are likely to happen, right? If people are living together, somebody break up, right? At least one person has to look for a new house. So the demand for housing increases, and the demand or the traffic to the online dating sites will increase. And there'll be more demand for relationship lawyers and counselors, right? There'll be demand for household items. And one company claimed that people change the brand of the beer they drink after breakup. All right. Now, what is wrong with the beer? Why do you think that they change the brand of the beer? So it is nothing wrong with the brand. So people don't want to remember anything that reminds them of the past. All right. So anything that reminds them of the past, they would just try to remove it from their routine. Okay. So now what we have done is we saw that there is a pattern in Facebook relationship breakups, and we connected the dots to understand what that pattern means to various business. So analytics is nothing but understanding the patterns that exist in the data and connects the dot to understand the business impacts, right? This is one way of defining analytics. Obviously, there are many other ways of looking at analytics, and it is every day like improving, or the usage of analytics is increasing, and we are seeing a lot of new technologies getting into the market, right? So if you look at how analytics is getting used by organizations, there are two different approaches that are used. The first one is called transformative approach. So this is what Sundar Pichai calls as AI first company, right? Now, what does that AI first company means? I can give you an example which many of us would have experienced in our life. So when we send email, let us say you have to attach, some document before sending to the other person, right? Many times we forget to attach the email, the document in the email, right? Now we send, and after some time you realize, or somebody says, hey, you forgot to attach the document. Now today what happens is, it is using a natural language processing and identifies that you entered in your message that I am attaching, right? And then it finds that you are not attached anything. So now AI is basically giving a solution and improving our efficiency and effectiveness and so on, right? So how is the email finding that I forgot to attach? It's very simple. You look at you basically do a natural language processing and look for the word, whether there is a word which contains attached or attaching is present. And if there are no attachment, you just create an alert, right? So when we say AI first company, we are looking at the entire activities of the organization through AI. And the next strategy is incremental approach. So what do we mean by incremental approach? You may not go and try to use AI everywhere. You actually look at first low-hanging fruits within the organization and then slowly build up the capability. So here you use AI to augment your human capability or human resource that you have. So these are the two AI strategies which are used by organizations. And what kind of applications they have. So when we talk about AI or analytics, what are these typical applications, right? At one level, you see a lot of robotic process automation happening through AI, right? So for example, suppose let us say you have a business process outsourcing company or a company which is giving customer service, right? So the customer requests about a particular complaint may come in the form of email. In the past, somebody used to read that email and send it to the respective department so that they can address the complaint or the customer issue. Today, you have a named entity recognition, which is one of the natural language processing algorithm, which automatically detects what is the complaint that the customer is talking about and goes straight away to the concerned department. So basically, you improve the efficiency of the entire customer support. And there are a large number of such robotic process automation happening across the industry. The second is gaining cognitive insights. So I'm going to talk about a few examples. So, a simple example is, can you tell me which customer is likely to default, right? Can you tell which customer is likely to churn, right? So those are the cognitive insights kind of projects. Then finally comes what we call as cognitive engagement. So this is like your Alexas and Siris and Jivos. There are a lot of now AI-driven robots. So all of them are towards cognitive insights. So when you look at AI application, you can put them either in the form of robotic process automation or used for gaining cognitive insights or used for cognitive engagement. So what I'm going to do is quickly, I'll go through 3 cases. I'll probably spend about 2 minutes on each of them. Many of you would have heard about Akshay Patra Foundation, right? They provide free meal to school children, especially the children who are studying in government school or government aided schools. So probably students who are not from well-to-do family go and attend schools, attend these schools, right? So they provide free meals to these children. Now, if you look at this kind of organization, the reason why I am taking this particular example is that we think that analytics is only for large organizations such as Google and Amazons and so on. But even small and medium enterprise can benefit through use of analytics and AI. I just want some of you to enter. What kind of problems do you think Akshay Patra would be facing? Can you just think the kind of problem that they'll be facing? Just to give you an idea, like 5 million meals by 2020. In Bangalore alone, they were providing 1.85 lakh meals every day, right? Now, remember, they get into a lot of problems. Somebody has written vehicle routing, funds, and so on. But let us look at the problem that they face. This is a highly sophisticated kitchen they use, and they can make 40,000 rotis in 1 hour and cook rice for more than 1,000 kids. So we are talking about highly sophisticated kitchen, right? And this specific school that we looked at, the kitchen that we looked at was serving about 87,000 meals every day, right? And the furthest to school was about 4 hours from the kitchen from where the meal is getting served, and they were using 35 vehicles. Okay. Now, if you look at the kind of problems they face, the first one is cooking to consumption time. So since they provide they made food, the definition of freshly made food is that the cooking to consumption time should be less than 6 hours. That means they cannot prepare the meal before 6 o'clock on that day of delivery, because most of the school, the lunch time is between 12 and 1. And the food should be delivered before 12 o'clock. The temperature at the delivery of food should be at least 65 degrees centigrade. And they have to maintain the nutrition value of the meal. That means certain amount of calorie, protein, energy they should always maintain. Now let us look at the delivery before 12 noon, right? So suppose, let us say you have one vehicle which has to deliver to 20 schools, right? And they have to decide which route they should take. And if they're not taking the optimal route, then they will end up spending a lot of money on the petrol and diesel and so on, right? That will increase their operating cost. And they are working on a donor's money, right? It's government pays about 60% and remaining is collected through donors. So if they are not efficient, then they may not be able to add more schools. So this involves solving a traveling salesman problem. If you have 20 schools and if you want to find the optimal route, it is 20 factorial, right? Now, how big is 20 factorial? If you have a computer or laptop that can evaluate 1 million routes per second, it will take only about 77,000 years to exhaustively search 20 million routes. All right. Now let us look at the last one, maintain the nutrition value. How difficult it is. In India, the vegetable price fluctuate a lot. For example, you may find onion 1 month 20 rupees, suddenly it can become 150 rupees. Tomato could be 5 rupees and suddenly it is 100 rupees, right? Now, the food contains all these ingredients and we are seeing so much of fluctuation and you have to maintain certain calorie, nutrition value and so on. So how do you actually maintain the nutrition value given that the prices are fluctuating a lot and you have a very, very stringent budget for each meal? So this entire, I'll not get into how we analyze this problem because that is, a 2-hour lecture, but these are some of the problems that were approached by Akshay Patra using analytics. I'll take another example. This is from a commercial company, Eureka. Many of you are probably using their water purifier. Now, one of the problems they face, or we looked at, is that whenever you want a product, what you do, you go to Google and search for it, or you go to the company site and then you look at different configurations and product features and so on. So this Eureka has a website, and every month they get about 7 lakh hit. About 7 lakh people visit their website. But out of that 7 lakh, only about 2,000 odd actually buy the product. Okay, so if you look at this, I'm looking at more than 7 lakh, about 2,800 people purchase. Now, typically what happens is you get a sales lead and the salesperson goes to the customer and demonstrate the product. And after that, the customer may say, okay, I will buy, or he may say, I don't buy. If you look at the sales conversion here, it is only about 0.39%. That means if you take 1,000 customers, only 4 buy. Now, the question for a sales team is, how do you identify which 4? Because you do not have an infinite sales force, right? You may have at most, say, some 100 guys in a state, or maybe if you take a city like Bangalore, you may have, let us say, 50 people, right? Now, how do you optimally use them so that they are going to the right customer who will finally buy? Again, this is a very, very tough mathematical problem because this involves imbalanced data. And the moment you have the imbalanced data, the algorithm also becomes tough. So if you look at why there is so much interest in this, now we know that we can solve the problem. But the question is, what is the best way to solve the problem, right? So that's why you see a lot of research is going on and a lot of companies are investing in this. Professor Sandeep, initially he spoke about some of these things when he was introducing you. The next example I'm going to talk about is something which is from a social sector, right? So I talked about one company which is NGO. The second one is commercial. Now I'm going to talk about something from the social sector. I'm looking at farmers. Now, the important thing for us to understand is that analytics, as I said, is not only for business. You can use analytics effectively for solving the social problem, right? So what we did, before I get into the problem that we try to solve, if you look at in India, there are a lot of crops are lost because of pests. There is a statistics which says that 35% of the crop is lost, and another report says more than 50% is lost. So either way, significant proportion of the crop is lost to diseases, right? Or plant diseases. Now, what we did, we developed a deep learning algorithm model through which you can predict what is the disease. So now what is happening is that because the seed varieties have changed, the farmers are unable to make out what is the actual disease that plant or the crop is going through, and what should be the treatment, or what kind of pesticide should they use to treat that particular disease. So what we did, we developed a deep learning algorithm, and what farmers have to do is take a image of the leaf or stem, upload that image into the server, and this algorithm runs a deep learning model. So the server runs a deep learning model to predict what is the disease and what kind of pesticide the farmer should do, and that is recommended to the farmer. So basically, this is under beta testing, and we are collaborating with one of the government departments in Karnataka to take this model to the farmers, right? So if you look at the future, that's the theme of this particular event. There are a lot of talk about fourth industrial revolution, right? Now, if you look at how the economy has evolved, the first reason for expanding the market is steam engine, right? So that introduced the railways. So now the producers were able to have larger market because they were able to reach different markets, not constrained by the mobility. Then came the assembly line, the Ford steam model, that improved the efficiency of the manufacturing system. Then came internet and mobile. Now we are looking at Industry 4.0. Now, what is this Industry 4.0? It is talking about mostly the digitization. So why is digitization important? Now, remember, if you want to use analytics or AI, the first thing is data. Now, unless the data is in the digital form, you cannot use it. So for any benefit a company wants to achieve through analytics and AI and so on, they have to have a digitization, right? So they have to integrate digital journey along with AI journey to become a successful company in the market. So what we are looking at is we'll see more and more companies investing heavily on digitization and the other components of Industry 4.0. And the most important in that is AI and analytics. So I think I already taken more time. We create a lot of kind of material and textbooks and cases and so on. So this one, Viresh already told you. And we have written about 38 cases so far on the use of analytics and AI by Indian and MNC. This is published at the Harvard Business Publishing. If you go and look at the Harvard Business Publishing portal, you will find a lot of cases. You can just search by my name, you'll find a lot of cases. So we worked on Big Basket, Flipkart, and there are large number of Indian and MNC companies. For the want of time, I already took 5 more minutes than what is allotted to me. I'll stop my session here. This is my email. If you want any further details, please feel free to send me an email. And I don't know whether we have time for questions. I'll just now hand it over to Viresh. Viresh, if there are questions, I can probably take a couple of questions if there is time.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, just wanted to inquire. The question answer session is at the end of all the deliberations.
Yeah, sorry, Viresh, I have another engagement, so I may not be able to join. That's why I requested for 4 o'clock. Okay.
Yes, right, sir. I remember, sir.
Yeah.
Amitabh, sir. Amitabh, sir.
Yes, we have. Yes, I'm here.
Sir, can I
So,
take a couple of questions, sir?
Yeah.
yeah. Sir,
Sorry, Amitabh, your voice was breaking. I couldn't hear.
am I audible now?
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. So, we have got a question from Professor Farhat from Periyar, Delhi. His question is, so many applications. Yeah, his question is, so many applications are built wherein you can use avatars of big stars to politicians, leaders. Don't you think this is going to create havoc in video-based evidences?
Okay. So if you look at any technology, right, there will be side effects. All right. Now we have to see how we can actually reduce the side effect. So for example, if you look at AI is used in healthcare. And because of that, we are able to treat people better. And it has saved a lot of lives. So for example, let me give you a very specific example used in UK. Kidney transplants, right? Now for kidney transplant, suppose let us say within your family, there is nobody whose kidney is matching. You have to depend on the donors, right? Now it used to be anywhere between 6 months to 9 months in UK, the waiting time. And if the kidney is in a bad condition, the patient can actually die. So today, thanks to analytics, it has been reduced to 3 months, right? So what we need to look at is what is the positive that is coming out of that, and how we can minimize the negatives. So that is through regulation. So Europe has put a GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. So such kind of regulation should be created so that such kind of ill effects can be reduced. Okay. Any other question?
So, sir, I think that's all from the participants.
Okay, fine.
I have got one comment from Farhat Fatima. She's saying you are absolutely correct about using it for the betterment, but why to even provide investment which can be harmful and easily available? Regulations are needed. So, do we need some regulations with regard to the use
Yes.
of?
So the government is in the final stages of coming out the regulation in the country, right? And so the regulations are definitely needed, and there'll be some misuse. So that's why that's the role of the government, right? So the government role is stop people from misusing any technology which can otherwise benefit a lot of people. See, for example, I talked about farmers, right? So the same algorithm is used for cheating. All right. Now the thing is, you need to have a governance system which stops misuse and help the people who can benefit from the particular algorithmic use, right? So it's again going back to the first question. It is the role of the government to ensure that it is used only for the right purpose. All right.
Right, sir. Sir, I've got one more question from Madhushri Konar, and she's asking, will automation lead to unemployment?
So, see, this is a common question that people ask about AI. Now, there will be different skill requirement, right? So, what do we mean by unemployment? It is not unemployment in the sense that people will not have job. There will be a lot of jobs created by AI. So, for example, look at the call centers, right? Now, who would like to work in a call center? It's probably nobody prefers, but, just because the job is there, people go and do it because they can't find other job. Now, what we need to do, and if you, in the future, the chatbots and robots will become far better. That's the cognitive engagement that I spoke about. And once you have a chatbot which can effectively answer to all the questions, then why do you need human? We have to reskill those people and put it somewhere else. So that means those people can be used for creating better chatbots. So what I am saying is that there will be reskilling required, and they will move up the kind of value chain of the jobs, not do jobs which are routine and which do not need a human mind. So what I'm saying is there are better use of human mind. So they will go and do those kind of jobs rather than jobs which can handle by machine.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We are getting more questions, but Dinesh, should we take more questions or should we stop taking questions and should I take more questions?
Sir, you can see, we can take one or two questions if they are relevant.
Okay.
So there is one question I will read because I have opened the chat. Is application of business analytics related or different than marketing analytics? Marketing analytics is a subset of business analytics. The algorithms are, for example, predicting customer churn or predicting customer lifetime value. If you look at predicting customer churn is a logistic regression model or some kind of classification algorithm, which is used even for predicting failure of engineering system in manufacturing or default in banking and finance, right? So marketing analytics is a subset of business analytics. Any research going on IMB analytics area for helping pharmaceutical companies to come up with a cure for COVID-19? So there is a team which is working on, not necessarily with pharmaceutical companies, but looking at other social issues which are caused by COVID. Now, remember the pharma companies, the data secrecy or the demand for data privacy is very high. So they cannot, and they have to go through a lot of regulation before they can sign up a partnership. And obviously they don't have much time. So we are working on COVID related problem, but not with pharma companies. In the financial accounting, management accounting, cost accounting, we are teaching analysis and interpretation. I want to know similarities between analytics and different types of accounting. Right. Now, remember, when we say analytics, there is a business problem associated with that, right? Or social problem associated with that. You are using it to solve a problem. For example, let us look at accounting in general, and you have earnings manipulation, right? Or people manipulate accounts, like what Satyam did in India and Enron and WorldCom in US. Now the question is, can I predict whether a company is manipulating their accounts or not, right? There are now a lot of machine learning algorithms that can be used for predicting if there are people who are manipulating, or companies which are manipulating their accounts. Money laundering, there are machine learning algorithms that are used for predicting money laundering and so on, okay? I'll take one more question and then we can close. How can retailers and super shops in the supply chain from marketing management use it? So supply chain, there are a large number of problems in starting from inventory planning, procurement planning, production planning, the entire supply chain. In fact, there are courses on supply chain analytics. Okay, so I will stop here, and nice interacting with you guys. If you have any more question, my email is there. You can drop an email and I'll probably respond to you over email. So Veeresh, thank you. I have, sorry, I can't continue because I have another meeting around 5 o'clock. So I will drop out now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.